Welcome, Tiffany. Thank you so much for coming on Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books to discuss I Curse You with Joy. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I have to say, when I told my 9-year-old son that we were doing this interview, he literally spit out his Rice Krispies and was like, Tiffany Haddish? And I was like, you know her? You never know.
Do not let him read this book. This book is not for kids.
I know. I was like, yeah, we're not gonna go there. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, Tiffany, you are so real, so funny, so out there. Oh my gosh, I was like blushing and laughing, and I don't even know. Um, Tell listeners what they can expect with this book.
They can expect some laughs. They can expect some tears. They can expect some what? They can expect some what? You could put this in a book. I didn't even know you could write that down on paper. Uh, they can they can expect a full-on roller coaster. I like to say the ups and downs of life.
Oh my gosh.
And it's basically because they say you're supposed to write about what you know about. So what do I know about? I know about my life, and so I write about my life as
I
I live that.
I was explaining your book to my husband. I was like, I basically know everything about her private parts now. Like, I've never heard so much about someone else's sexual
And
stuff.
you still don't know nothing about my private parts
I
because
know
I'm a
you.
woman.
I know.
You know everything, but know nothing.
Exactly. No, anything you wanted to share. So of course there's a mix of all this, you know, hooking up, and nobody calls it hooking up anymore. I'm born in
I'm
the
from the 1900s.
70s. Okay.
Still call it hooking up.
Okay, fine. Thank
Mhm.
you. So there's lots of that, but it's mixed in with your family history and really sort of deep feelings of rejection from your dad, who was Jewish, by the way. And I loved your black mitzvah. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's so funny. You're so funny. You were like, isn't it hard to be from the you said something like being from the hood where I could count but I couldn't read or something. I'm not doing this
Right.
justice, but you're so funny. Anyway,
Thank you.
um, talk about your relationship with your dad and how that has affected things in your life, if you don't mind. Let's just jump in.
Okay. Well, let's jump in, girl. First, I didn't have one. I mean, I had a relationship till I was like 3, and I barely can remember. I don't remember much from that relationship, but I remember enough. Then he was gone, and so then there was no male. There's no male role model, no nothing. So there's me figuring stuff out, but I still had this longing to be near my dad, with my dad. Like I still loved my dad. I know that I had a dad, and I didn't have him. And then when we reconnected, it was like, oh man, had this man been around, maybe life would have been different. Maybe I'd have been better, but maybe he wasn't supposed to be around because I wouldn't be who I am today. Right. So like I made a lot of mistakes with dating men. I gallivanted around, if you will, a little hoe activity, if you will. I was looking for that daddy. I was looking for this thing that, and I was also like in the throes of like thinking, I don't know, I thought I was getting my power back, or I don't know. There's one chapter that's supposed to be in the book that probably would make sense on why I was like really make sense on why I was doing what I was doing, but I felt like it was too much.
Oh, wait, I want to hear what's in that chapter.
Rape. I was
Oh,
raped. So
oh, Tiffany.
and I felt like it was too heavy. I was like, this is too dark. There's nothing funny about this at all. There's no way for me to make this even slightly funny. So, but we gonna take that chapter out of the book.
I
We'll save
mean,
that for like a special, like drop that where somebody just I bet what they call that, where people just drop something like a rando chapter or something. I don't know, but it's too dark. And then I was like, it's you know how they say, okay, when the therapist tells you, like, write down your feelings. Think how you
mhm.
feel about this. If it's stressing you out, write about it. So wrote about it. And yeah, and then I was like, I thought I would add it because I know I'm not the only female that's gone through it. I feel like this is like my homage of like, hey, we've been through things. You're not the only one. Just because I'm popular or whatever doesn't mean that my shit ain't fucked up too.
Mhm.
But it was so dark. I was like, and I'm very, and not to be bragging, but really good at describing things and make you feel like you there.
Yes, you are.
So now I'm like, yeah, I don't want to put people there like that. I don't want to do that, especially if another woman has gone through this and she's reading this. It's probably like all the years of therapy, but might take you back. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's too much for the book, but
Maybe too much for the book, like individually, like
yeah,
something, an essay that's just dropped. That's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
this, like
Can
maybe
you
do that. But
can you
it's
tell me
dark.
more about what happened?
Yes, you can read. I did an interview. I believe it was the Rolling Stones magazine.
Okay, I'll read it.
I talked about it a little bit, but yeah, I mean, and you can see it. Like that, people talk about it a little bit online, but yeah, I was raped by a police cadet. At least that's what he told me he was. And yeah, handcuffed, all the stuff. Like I don't want
No.
to get it and all that because I can't make
Oh,
it funny. It'll bring the
it doesn't
energy.
have to be funny.
But it do have to be funny
It
because
doesn't.
I am the administrator of joy.
Yeah.
That's my job is to deliver something. Maybe it's a little hard to digest, and then at some point find the funny. But it is, I believe, the catalyst to what led to my promiscuity. Me
Mm.
trying to get it back, trying to get back what was taken from me, or trying to take back the power that was taken from me.
Wow.
Also trying to get yeah, yeah. But then I didn't feel anything. You get the going to therapy
Yep.
and that they giving me drugs.
Oh, that was
I still
before
in
the
the
Prozac
Prozac.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I didn't feel nothing.
Mm.
But when you having sex, you feel something. It ain't necessarily good,
Mm.
but there's something there. And then I could take back. I'm taking, I thought, but I wasn't. I was dumb. 20s, you stupid. Stupid as hell. Just stupid.
No, it's not stupid. There was a reason for it. You were trying to heal yourself in some way. That was your
In
way.
some kind of way, yeah. And then I'm also looking for somebody to nurture me and be there for me. It's a male counterpart, if you will,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I ain't had no daddy to do that. And then it's crazy because then I meet my dad, and now I'm like, now I'm getting married. I'm doing it. I'm doing like
Yep.
all these good things are happening. And then my dad is teaching me about my heritage and who
Mm-hmm.
we are. And, he's over there riddled with guilt because also he's expecting, he's like, you American girl, where's my grandbaby?
Mm-hmm.
Because most American girls that don't grow up with their father have a baby by the time they're 20,
Mm-hmm.
16, 20, somewhere in there. And like, where's my babies? Where's my grandbaby? Thinking he'll get a second chance, I guess to raise somebody, but no, I don't have that for you. Sorry.
Oh,
Been through some things.
you
So
know, the expectation that you have to bring the joy, that's a lot to bear. Like you can have the feelings too, right?
I know.
You don't have to be the entertainer nonstop. I think people laugh more, root for you more when they hear all the stuff. I mean, I think that's why you include some of it, but I mean,
No, what I included, no, no, no. See. In order to bring joy, I think you have to understand the opposite side of that,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
And that's how you appreciate the joy, right?
yep,
So, um, I I know I don't have to bring the joy all the time, and I don't.
mm-hmm.
I don't. But if you're gonna spend more than 2 hours with me, you gonna get some. You gonna get some because I'd be damned if I'm gonna be bored and devastated for 2 hours or more. I try to find the fun and the joy in everything, even in this book. Like, even when I'm talking about the dark stuff, it's like I gotta find the funny in it. Otherwise, I'd be like Eeyore out of Winnie the Pooh, which I know that the people that born in the 2000s probably don't know who I'm talking about, but those of us from the 1900s, who wants to be a sad ass gray donkey? Who wants to be the sad donkey? Nobody. Like, I want to bring joy. And I feel like all these like good and bad experiences that come about are to make you stronger. And the bad ones really are to make you appreciate the joy.
Yeah.
I think some of the saddest people laugh the hardest,
Hmm.
from my experience. And laughter is the same, use the same muscles to cry.
Yeah.
Except laughter feel way better.
It's very true. Oh my gosh. I mean, when you shared all the parts about growing up and your mom and her accident, and even how you give a PS when people are asking, like, how is your mom today? And how you're still, there. And, the moment where she was sort of heavily medicated. And oh my gosh. I mean, you go through all this stuff, and then you go through periods of time like when you were gaining weight after COVID and all this stuff, and you're like, I just don't even want to get out of bed. And then you like make the decision, like, I'm getting up again and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna go to the Laugh Factory and I'm gonna like get up there and cry and all that. Like, it's so powerful.
Yeah. You decide to live, decide to move forward. And also, I mean, I feel like I'm talking about it, but I don't know. Maybe you didn't catch on. Maybe you did. I don't know. But they don't give a manual on how to be famous. There's no manual on how to be a star. And I'm just sharing my experiences and what I think I made as mistakes. But also like I don't share any mistakes that I don't feel like I've found a resolution
Mm-hmm.
or that I've grown from. If I don't feel like I grew from it, I probably didn't share it.
Mm.
Right. But like, because I think a lot of people want to be stars, they want to be this thing or whatever, but they don't realize. And I think they think, oh, once I'm famous, all my problems will go away. But they like amplify.
Mm.
They amplify. So you really need to be careful how you move and be ready, be strong enough to carry them. You know what's so funny? My great uncle just passed away.
Oh no.
My grandmother's brother. And it's funny because when I got married, he said, I'll be careful now. I don't know if you want to get married because marriage is, and I think I should have put that in the book because I kind of forgot about it. But when he passed, it made me remember. He said, when you get married, whatever, whatever they do now before you get married that gets on your nerves, it's going to amplify times 10. So make sure whatever it is that they do that gets on your nerves now, you can handle it once you say I do. Because for some reason, don't know why, it just amplifies times 10.
Hmm.
But make sure you really love them and you can stand it. And I feel like that is the same thing with being in the eye of the public. It's like you could, like, whatever it is that bothers you before you famous, it will bother you even more.
So what has amplified the most and bothers you now even more than you thought could possibly bother you?
Not sleeping in my bed.
Mm.
It used to get on my nerves, people in my business. Now it gets on my nerves even more.
Ah.
Who's in your bed? Like when people like who's your boyfriend? Who you dating? Who you dating? They used to get on my nerves
Mhm.
before I was famous. Now it really gets on my nerves. And I don't even let that's why I don't even let men in my bedroom.
I guess the flip side to that is when you get married, the things that you do are going to bother somebody else 10 times more.
Sure is. Boy, I'm ready to bother. No, I'm not.
So when you get to these points when you're like, I don't even want to get out of my bed, I don't want to do this. This is like, I don't even see the way out of this. This is horrible. And you make the decision like, okay, forget it. I'm going to be funny. I'm going to choose joy. Why and when does the switch go off? Like, what if it doesn't go off?
It goes off. It's a decision. It's what I'm saying. Everything is a decision. You have to decide. You decide to be depressed. Like depression. I think Jim Carrey said depression is your body saying, fuck this, I don't want to live this. kind of character. This is not who we are. This is not the purpose. So you have to decide to move differently, challenge your body to something else. Okay. This isn't normal for us. So we don't like this. Like, I don't like any of this lifestyle. Okay, change it. Change it. And luckily we live in America where you can make adjustments whenever you want to and figure out what it is that makes you happy. I figured out what it is that makes me happy, getting on stage.
Hmm.
That's what brings me joy. So if I'm laying in bed and I don't feel like it, well, what do you like? What do you feel like? Yeah,
Hmm.
we'll go do it. It's not gonna hurt nobody. It's not gonna hurt you. Go do it.
I loved how in the book you were, I mean, it's sad, funny sad, but when during COVID, how you would do your stand up in front of the mirror and you're like, nobody in the bathroom was laughing. Like the toothbrush wasn't laughing.
Nobody was laughing. I
Oh.
needed to hear the laughs. And I was using my imagination so tough, like going into doing it in the garden, plant-based comedy, doing the jokes, and just using my imagination. I'm sure I was getting on my neighbors' nerves. I'm doing it in the backyard, finding any kind of way, like calling people. You know, it did evolve to where I was doing colleges through Zooms, but I couldn't hear the laughs.
Oh.
And that's how I was living for the laughs. They would just be like laughing in the
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah. Ha ha ha. And sometimes I'm like, can you all just unmute? I feel like I'm like talking to a wall. I hate when everybody's on Zoom and you're like saying something. I'm like, I can't read the room. Are you there? Is anyone there?
Yeah, everybody turn your cameras on. Let me look at your face and
Yeah,
leave
exactly. Exactly. What are you doing? Are you having lunch? Are you even listening to me? Like, what
yeah,
is going on here? Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Why did you write a second book? You had a
Um,
bestseller, like you could have stopped there. Woohoo, amazing. Why?
because I dare to challenge myself. Although there was a bunch that was in that first book that I took out and put in this book
Mm.
uh, because I felt like the first book was too long. I hate long books. It's I feel like I should be able to finish it in a day. And it was so much in the first book. And I was like, it's just too much, too thick. Like, yeah, I can't even carry, it's too heavy. So we took a lot out of the first, and everything that I took out, we put in this, plus more, plus picking up like all the stuff that's happened since that first book has come out. A lot of the things that's happened, not all of it, because then that'd
Mhm.
be another long ass book that I think long ass books.
So
But
you can save it for your third book then.
exactly, I plan on living a long time. It'll be a series of what do they call it? Is it volumes? What is it?
Hmm.
Episodes?
Yeah,
Uh,
like a lot of volumes. Yeah, a whole
yeah,
series.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Series.
A series, a series.
I'll clear a whole shelf and I'll just make room for
Yeah.
all the ones to come. And
Every 5 years there'll be 5 to 6 years. We'll drop another book. How about that?
when you're writing, because your voice is so, it's like I'm listening to you talk, right? When you write, it's so voice. It's like the perfect example of like when people are like, find your voice in writing on the page. And it's like, okay, voice. This is like, read this. This is voice. Do you dictate ever? Do you just write and it comes out like this? How do you do it?
Yeah, dictate a lot. Also, I write like if you read my journals, which you would be like, this girl cusses like a sailor. Every
I'm
time I get
shocked. I'm shocked to hear that. Really shocked.
there's lots of cussing in the book. It's really my voice. But I write how I feel. And I feel how I feel has a lot to do with like I could put myself in a place. I just think of it,
Hmm.
think of the words, I could see it, I could feel it, I could smell it, I could taste like I teleport. It's like I time travel when I'm writing. Oh my goodness. They say time travel doesn't exist, but it does up in here.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And I imagine I'm there. Even when I went to Israel, like I think I time traveled there because as I'm like walking where the two mikvahs are, the huge Olympic sized mikvahs, and I'm walking up this like pathway that leads towards the temples. And I'm like, oh yeah, Jesus walked this path. So many Jews walked this path. People came every year, hundreds and hundreds. And I felt like I was surrounded by the people. Like I could hear the people. Like I could smell the people. And they was musty. They needed to get in that mikveh. That was necessary. They needed to squash. In my mind, I could see it all. And I could feel it. And the feelings that I was getting was so powerful. I didn't even get to put that in the book because I did it already. The book was done already. I'm like, oh, the next book is out. These journals I got now, girl, it's like off the chain. And it's like, I thought I time traveled and I could just imagine what it felt like to be going up and down. And it was so beautiful. I was like, this is like a mall. It feels like a mall. Like it's so huge. And then I'm thinking, is this where malls came from? Is this where we copied? Like, did we copy this? Is like, all these things, I'm like, nothing is new under the sun. We copied everything. And I'm just imagining like what outfits they might have been wearing. And then all the different, so many cities built on top of this city, on top of that city. And it's like, I feel like I could feel all these different generations of people that lived in this place. And it's so many different types. It's so many different religions, lost practices, lost souls. Just and the energy was crazy. And I'm just like walking, trying not to be a crybaby, and like, trying to figure out what's the goodness. Am I really a medium? Am I really from Haunted Mansion? Is there a reason I played that part? Am I carrying over the character? Am I a method actor now? I don't feel like a method actor. Like, what's going on here? And then as I'm talking to other people that's around and different people that's like that I'm meeting, they're like, oh yeah, Jerusalem, that has that effect. It's the energy, it's transformative. It just you could feel it's like it's something from that rock in the wall. Did you pray at the wall? I was like, oh yeah, I prayed at the cried at the wall. I realized I was the way on the wall. I was crying at the wall. Didn't even know why. I felt like a dummy at first, and then I was like, oh.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just who I am, I think. It's just like, I don't know. I like I do everything I do, I feel like has a reason. There's a purpose, even if I'm confused about what the purpose is, but I think the purpose might be ends up being completely different than what it actually is. And in hindsight, you're like, oh, that's why I went through that. Oh, that's why this happened. So I don't know. I want to share the experiences. I feel like God gives you all these experiences for a reason. And I think it's meant to be shared.
I
And then
love that.
maybe to help somebody else be better with theirs.
It's beautiful. Really beautiful. Just one more question. You're so open about being Jewish, and I love that I'm Jewish. It's so important right now. Everything is just, it's crazy times.
Always been important.
It's
It's
always been
always
important,
been
but
crazy times. It's always
I know, but I don't
when you
know.
look at the history of it, I mean, come on. 100 years ago, it was deadly times.
I know.
Even
So
more so deadly than ever.
you're a
It's
hundred, you're
and it
100% right.
depends on what country you're in as a Jew. It could be another deadly time.
Yes. Are you ever afraid of speaking out? Because some people are.
And you know why they are? It's probably because they haven't dealt with persecution and hate their whole entire life. They've been able to hide.
Hmm.
I am not afraid of speaking out because I've been speaking out, and it's like my voice is never heard, anyways. But I guess some people do hear. I think in my actions, I guess, speak even louder
Hmm.
than my words. Actions, they say actions speak louder than words. And, I suffer persecution from that. But I feel like my whole life I've been persecuted. I feel like my mom didn't realize it, but she was preparing me for naysayers and ne'er-do-wells, and strengthening my heart, my skin to be able to handle that. That's the first person I ever loved, and she was the meanest person I could. Imagine. She said the meanest, nastiest things about me. So when the world says mean, nasty things, and I don't even know them, they never even fed me or housed me or clothed me or had any love or given me any kind of love where I can give them love or me knowing of any love they've ever given me. I don't know these people. Doesn't really bother me so much. Now, if my immediate family members, people I love, people I care about, that bothers me. That bothers me. But at the same time, my mama got me so strong. It's like, oh well, you a human, you gonna hurt my heart anyway. So that's what it is. That's
Uh,
what humans do. But why do I have to change who I or decide to hide who I am? And I can't. I'm black. And I'm not gonna let nobody dictate how I love God, how I worship God. If you have a problem with how I love God, then you might want to check how you love God. Because every single religion that I've studied, almost all of them, you're not supposed to be hating nobody. You're not supposed to be killing nobody. You're not supposed to be, you're supposed to, you ain't supposed to be trying to convert people, you're supposed to share what you know, share your love, share what you've learned, but you ain't supposed to kill them to make them be like you. And you can hate what other people do, but you ain't supposed to be killing them. I don't know. But if you are attacked, you are supposed to, you turn the other cheek first. If they keep messing with you, then you got to whip their ass. So
the deleted Bible scenes.
I don't know if it's deleted, but I do know. There's some. People have done some stupid stuff in the Bible. King David, he was off the chain. Okay, as you defeat the giant, and then a bunch of other stuff happened. Stuff I approve of it. And I don't think God approved of it either because he's like, you got too much blood on your hands. You can't build the temple. Your offspring's going to have to do that. You can't do it because you got too much damn blood on your hands. And then his offspring did do it. It was beautiful. But then, everybody's be sinning, be doing stupid stuff. Stupid, stupid. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. And
Nobody's perfect. No
and
religion's perfect. Nothing's perfect. But you just try. You try to be loving. Try to bring love. That's all I can say. So no, I'm not gonna be hiding how I love God.
good. I love that. Tiffany, I have so much respect for you. You are awesome, like
Thank
in so
you.
many ways. And um, the celebrity is just this tiny, tiny piece, but you are an amazing person. Honestly, I'm not just saying that. Like, you're really a kick-ass person. I don't know how else to say it. Congratulations on your book, for being you, for being just so comfortable in your skin and helping other people. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's my meat suit. I'm only gonna have it for so
It's your meat
long.
suit, right? Yes, that's
Yeah,
what you said.
it is uncomfortable when that moon change and that cycle come around, but I gotta tell myself what it means. You're still young. You're still young. But when that cycle snaps, oh, I'm gonna be out here. I
Thank you for
don't know if you even know what I'm talking about. You're probably like, this girl is weird. I don't
You
get
are
it.
not weird. You're awesome. And you've brought me lots of joy this morning, and you will bring listeners lots of joy. So thank you for coming on. And I am rooting for you in every way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.